Rainbow Six Siege Mexico Major Day 4, Friday, August 20th. The first match of the day, and now we're doing best 2 out of 3s instead of best of 1s, was Liquid versus Damwon Kia. They played on Coastline first. This went all the way to overtime. Liquid won it 8-6. It didn't quite require 15 rounds, but still, it went almost all the way. Damwon Kia was in the advantage for a lot of this game, and then it was Liquid that pushed it to overtime, I believe. And then, well, Liquid won in overtime. If you're curious at all, I have notes here if you want to look at any of what happened in any of the rounds. But probably you watched the game, so I wouldn't expect you to be reading any of that. And then we had Liquid versus Damwon Kia for the second game. This was just a Liquid beatdown of Damwon Kia, 7-1. They played on Chalet. Maybe Damwon Kia was demoralized after the first map. Maybe they're just really, really good on Coastline. They were talking about on the broadcast, it's been banned. They've banned it, or they've banned it / it's been banned against them 33 times in a row, and they've never been seen playing it. There's no VOD of them playing it, I guess. So maybe they were just mega saving it. But I don't think Coastline was their pick. I think it was Chalet that was their pick, and then they got stomped on their own pick. So maybe if they'd won this game, they would have been, I don't know, they could have carried the momentum into the next game, but 7-1, pretty decisive, so would have expected to see a third map if Damwon Kia had won the first map, but they didn't, so 2-0, Liquid, pretty much as was expected. And this win locks Liquid in for the next SI. They're the first team to be locked in because they had 2 really good regional performances in this stage and last stage, and then this placing here. Next up, we had Ssg versus Emp, and I did predict Liquid, I guess. But so did like everybody. Ssg versus Empire. I predicted Ssg, and Ssg did not win. It was very sad. This was one of the 2 that I thought could go either way. I thought Empire were looking pretty good, and they could definitely take it against Ssg, and they did. So the first game of the 2 was on Cafe. Empire won at 7-4. Empire went up 5-1, and then Ssg was fighting back a little bit. They got up to 4 rounds, but still, 5-1 in the first half, and then 2-3 in the second half to end the game. Empire pretty strong on this map. And then I have notes for this, but not every game I have notes for. Some I just like this next one I had to leave for a little bit, and I came back partway through the game. So yeah, Ssg versus Empire on Clubhouse. Empire ends up taking it in the 15th round. Man, this was quite the game. So I had to leave. I came back. It was 5-0 Empire, and of course that's not insurmountable to come back from because Empire was the one defending. So Ssg would have their hand at defending on Clubhouse, which is pretty strong. But man, I thought it was just over. And then Ssg took that round, and then I think Ssg took several in a row. After they won the 6th round, their last attack round, and then they won like 2 or 3 more in a row, and then Empire took one match point, and then Ssg won several in a row to push overtime. So going into overtime, Ssg went 5-1 on their half, Empire went 5-1 on their defensive half. So 10 of 12 rounds won. 10 of the 12 rounds were won by the defenders, and then they went to overtime. Empire attacks first. Empire wins their attack. Then Ssg goes to attack, and then they win, and you think it's over. Like, you think Empire's just going to win their defense because they won 5 of their 6 defenses. And then Ssg wins their attack, and you think, man, SSG's got to win it now. Like, they just happened to win, Empire got lucky, more or less, and then SSG got lucky, and they won their attack. And then it went the last round, and you're like, all right, they get to go any site they want. They get to defend, which still, of the 14 rounds played, 10 of the 14 were still won by defenders. And then Empire breached the wall. Dan just runs in with Buck, gets a kill, takes over Red Stairs, gets another kill, and then it's like your fate's just sealed at that point. Yeah, all 3 but overtime rounds were won by the attackers, and Empire wins 8-7. Now, of course, they had to play a whole nother map after this, and it was Oregon. And I mean, I don't really know how good any of Empire's maps are, especially, except for everyone thinks their Clubhouse very good, but I don't know if Oregon's SSG's best map. We didn't see them play at this stage, and I don't think they had an especially good record last stage on it. If they play, I'm not sure about stage 1, but yeah, this was sad to see. It was a very good game. in itself, the second map, but yeah, it's sad to see SSG go. I think if they could have played Damwon Kia or Furia, and maybe even Team 1, they probably could have won. Of course, they wouldn't play Furia because that was the other team from their group. But maybe if they played Damwon Kia or Team 1, they could advance. But Empire looks really good. I mean, at this point, I want Team 1 or Empire to win the tourney for sure, and I'd love to see those two advance to the finals. And that's what I'm gonna predict, just because I want it to happen. And I'll say it at the end officially, I suppose. BDS versus Furia on Coastline. So it was an 8-7 in BDS's favor. So of course they barely won it. Furia played Coastline against SSG, and it went to 15 rounds, and Furia won it. And this is like Furia's fourth 15-round game, and this is the first one they lost. They played 2 15-rounders versus Navi that they won, and 1 15-rounder versus SSG that they won. And they only play, so this was their 7th map of the tournament, and it was already their 4th 15th rounder. So yeah, it was on Coastline, so of course anything could happen. And Furia, well, you know, Furia, BDS, Furia, BDS. So 3-3 on the half, and then BDS, Furia, BDS, Furia. Yeah, they end up well, they were ahead for more or less for a while, and then BDS pulls ahead. Wait, is this wrong? BDS. Oh yeah, this can't be right. One of these should be. I think I took notes wrong, because there should be. Yeah, okay. I guess I have to correct that. I'll have to check which round it was. Yeah, because BDS should have, right? Unless the first half it was a 3-3. Yeah. Okay. So one of these rounds actually went to BDS, not Furia. Was it round 7? BDS? Yeah. That round 7 was crazy. It was. I mean, you can say, yeah. You know, Fantasy pushes up on Pink Bar, which is the bar next to billiards, and then he downs Rafal, but then Renshiro saves him, and he never gets picked up. He gets killed. It's one of so Rare. Yeah, so Rare pushes in later, and he kills the down guy, and then I think he team kills Lenda, and then he kills like 2 more people, then hides plants, and LMs is in a 1v3, and he just runs back in and 1v3 clutches and disables. That was an insane round. Probably one of the best rounds I've ever seen. But anyways, yeah, so Furia lose, and then they play another one. They play on another clubhouse, and you know, went to overtime again. Oh man, this was insane, because I mean, you know, BDS wins. BDS goes down 3-6, and then they were in round. Then they go to 4, 5, 6, 7. They win 5 in a row to win 8-6 from being down. So I don't know if Furia choked or BDS went nuclear or whatever, but BDS was not having it. Another 2-0, this time in BDS's favor. And for the final match of the day, we had Dark Zero versus Team 1. They played Villa and Chalet, and as you can see, Team 1 won both of them 7-3. Now this is very unfortunate for Dark Zero. Two of their players got BC, and Hyper got sick, and it was unconfirmed 100% whether it was actually COVID or just the flu or whatever it was. But they all had to play from their own room, so they weren't on the stage. They weren't playing together. They couldn't, you know, they didn't have the camaraderie. Just very unfortunate. They were just playing in their rooms separately. So that really sucks. And I mean, maybe they would have lost anyways, because Team 1 is coming into this match with like an insane amount of momentum after winning. After the situation that led them to qualifying, like the fact that how much they had to win and how much they had to win by and all this stuff. And I covered it in one of the previous videos. But yeah, so after what I've seen from Team 1, yeah, I mean, they look good, and they looked mega clutch, and part of the clutchness in this game is probably just Dark Zero falling apart a little bit. Dark Zero didn't look terrible, because the 7-3 scorelines, it's just like they got clutched on so much. Like in the second game, Neskin 1v3 clutches. This one was they played Wine Snowmobile twice, and they won it once, lost it once. But yeah, it was a 3v5 for Team 1. But then Lagonis gets a double to bring a 3v3, and then KDS just gets the other 3. So it was a 3v3 that they could have won it. And then Levy, another 4K here. And then Levy, a 4K and a 1v2. And yeah, they were just getting clutched on in. I think there's like another clutch here. Yeah, and this one, no. There's probably another clutch here. Or not like strictly a clutch, but just team 1 coming back from a disadvantage. So yeah, those were all the games for the day. These were just all the score lines at the end. So, and they were all 2-0s. So the day could have been much, much longer if, well, I mean, we had 4 overtimes, but 4 regulation wins and only 8 maps when you could have up to 12 maps. So going forward, Liquid plays against Team 1, and I mean, I would expect Liquid to win, but I would like to see Team 1 win. I mean, it's sort of just a Cinderella story, and they seem to just be a really fun team. They're really excited when they win a round, and even when they lose a round, honestly. And then it's really hard to predict against Liquid, though. I mean, Palu is probably the best player in the world, and Nesk is really, really one of the best players in the world, and Liquid's just one of the best teams in the world. Yeah, I mean, if not the best team at the current moment. And then Empire versus BDS. I certainly want to see Empire win. I don't know. As far as European teams go, Empire's been one of my favorites forever. And I don't especially like BDS. I think they're playing fairly well and strategically this tournament, but historically they're just like running around and gunning, which is like cool, but it's not actually that cool. Like, I mean, in this game, you kind of want to see strategy prevail, even if you want to see flashy plays as well. So that's what's going to go down for day 5. I mean, I got to predict Liquid over 1, and I'm going to predict Empire over BDS, but I want to see Team 1. I want to see 1 versus Empire in the finals. I'd love to see it. So that's going to do it. Tune in next time. Oh, and I actually just double checked it, but yeah, I didn't record it. I was just looking at it wrong because we have BDS wins, Furia wins, BDS wins, Furia wins, BDS wins, Furia wins. I was looking at the I was looking at this timeout thing instead of the win. So they actually went back and forth in that half. But anyways, you know, end of the video.